races with points going to the top 3 finishers in each race. The wildcard winner will then take their place in the Pro Exhibition semi-finals. Those semi-finals both take place on day 2, with 13 drivers in each. There will be 3 races. Silverstone and Sao Paulo will be on 25% race distance, with a 5-lap dash around Spielberg in between. The top 7 from each semi-final will go directly to the final.
Hello and welcome to the F1 Esports Pro Exhibition 2022 presented by Aramco. We're here at Silverstone, the home of British motorsport, alongside 26 of the brightest young sim racers from around the world, hoping to make their mark and see if they've got what it takes to join the F1 Esports Pro Championship. If they do, they'll join the biggest teams in motorsport and race against the best esports drivers on the planet.
It is time for a new season for F1 Esports, the Pro Championship. Lucas Blakely takes the lead. What a way to take your first victory in this championship.
The British Grand Prix is underway. Oh, look at that! Danny Moreno on the inside up to P2. That is unbelievable from the Mercedes driver. Marcel Kiefer has dominated from the front. He comes over the line to win the Italian Grand Prix. David Tanitsa takes the final place on the podium. Freddie Rasmussen wins the Belgian Grand Prix ahead of Jarno Opmeer. But what a race from Freddie Rasmussen.
And we're racing.
Lucas is flying out there.
Danny Moreno takes the lead. Has Freddie Rasmussen made a mistake? Danny Moreno wins at Zandvoort.
It's a big step forward for Mercedes versus Red Bull in the team's championship. The medium appears to be the preferential strategy. He wants a victory. He's let him through.
Jarno Opmeer back on top. And we're underway.
Look at Jarno Opmeer.
Roshadow is off the road. Jarno Opmeer turns 3rd position into the race lead.
Into the final corner.
Is turning into a great day for Jarno Opmeer. Separated across the line by less than half a second. Jarno Opmeer brilliantly wins.
Our Pro Exhibition drivers won a place here by finishing in the top 6 of the F1 Challenger Series. That was on PlayStation, Xbox and PC. A further 9 drivers, 3 on each platform, made it by posting the top 3 DHL time trial lap around the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Our women's wildcard was also determined by the DHL time trial, and that is how all of the drivers have made it here. It's time now to find out how the Pro Exhibition will work over the next few days.
Day 1 of the event, it is the women who take centre stage with the women's wildcard. It is made up of 3 5-lap races with points going to the top 3 finishers in each race. The wildcard winner will then take their place in the Pro Exhibition semi-finals. Those semi-finals both take place on day 2, with 13 drivers in each. There will be 3 races. Silverstone and Sao Paulo will be on 25% race distance, with a 5-lap dash around Spielberg in between. The top 7 from each semi-final will go directly to the final. Circuit of the Americas, all at 25% race distance. The driver with the highest combined points total will be crowned the 2022 Pro Exhibition Champion.
Yesterday, Ariana Bravo presenting here, there and everywhere. Ariana, looking forward to the Pro Exhibition?
I am looking forward to it. It's great to be delving into the world of esports. As you said, I work in F1, but this is something new for me. Competitors are all raring to go, some of them skipping lunch to get straight into the sims and get practicing. I think we're set for an exciting few days.
Yeah, that is a proper commitment there. Are we going to get you on the rig at some point?
If you want a really embarrassing session, then yeah, of course.
Hey, practice makes perfect. I will say this, Aaron, as a Girls on Track UK ambassador, it's fantastic to see the women's wildcard back again.
Right, absolutely. So I am a Girls on Track ambassador and for greater representation in the sport. So women's wildcard is so brilliant to see. Provides that platform for female talent to showcase their skills, hopefully get noticed by teams, sponsors, and just to build up their own following and audience. I think that's so important. We've seen it through initiatives like W Series, when you give these sorts of sort of thing, and it inspires the younger generations. That's what we're sort of hoping can happen here in the gaming world of women's wildcard. Area is that it's so accessible. Okay, we know is expensive. That's one of the biggest barriers that aspiring drivers come up against. But this provides a way for them to get the game, get into the sims, work on their skills, work on their talent, really hone in on that racecraft whilst getting. We'll see one of them in W Series or in F1. That's exactly what we want.
Dream. I can't wait to see. Lovely catching up with you.
Qualifiers bagged herself a spot in today's shootout by putting in one of the fastest laps around the Barcelona circuit. Cynthia,
yeah,
welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Brilliant. Now, we want to hear all about this. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I come from Hong Kong and I lived in journey since COVID-19 pandemic, and
Wildcard is, of course, a platform. Why is it so important for you personally and experience?
I think like this platform allows to show off that but not like I would take like more experience from this, even if it's experience.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see you. Honoured you to be a bus. And that is what women do. Explore their passion. I love it.
Points for a win, 2 points for finishing second, 1 point. Qualify on pole. The commentators for this.
The women's wild card, 5 lights on. Underway. way of Bahrain International. Converting it nicely at this point. Is around to the through 3 and on to 4, and it's Schmidt, Morel, Rachel Wood in 4th position. Move on of the race and look at the advantage that
Bit of a time trial, especially for Mira Schmidt at the moment. 7.5 around this Bahrain. Just needs to keep it.
Complete control. Looks up and sees the checkered flag first. In 4th position as Rebecca Morel takes the flag. Wet conditions. We are racing in Austria, and it's Mira Schmidt once again. To Bahrain. And you can see Rebecca Morel's got a 2-second time penalty and a spin. Mira Schmidt, Rebecca Morel, then up to 2nd place. Pushing Mira Schmidt all the way in the first race, sees it come undone in the second.
Curtains for her. There's a fight for P. Make up that time. Going to get a much better run out of turn 1, and it's going to get up to P3. Will now need to clear Wood by over 2 seconds before the end of this race.
That is the task, and you can see that we've had a swap around once again. It's a great move from Rebecca Morel, and then trying to reclaim the position, reclaim that 2nd place that she had in the first women's wildcard race. And on lap 3 of 5, she is up to 2nd position. But look, Mira Schmidt has checked out front. Oh, and there's a spin in the background there for Cynthia Locke, who goes round. And that's how easy it is in these conditions around the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, Mira Schmidt in a complete class of her own on the intermediate tyres there, round the last couple of corners, and will take another commanding victory.
Superb stuff. The flag is out. Mira Schmidt, 2 from 2, despite that time penalty. That's the only thing that didn't go to plan, as Rebecca Morel recovers up to 2nd place. Here we go again, this time at Sao Paulo. Lights out. We are racing in the women's wildcard for F1 Esports. And this time, is it a bolder start? Despite everything that Rebecca Morel is trying to do, she couldn't dive to the inside of turn 1, but can she line it up down the hill? Here we go. And this is the most pressure that Mira Schmidt has been under all day long. Will there be the dive bomb move? Doesn't have the confidence to jump on the brakes. And Schmidt and Morel making their way through, with Schmidt continuing to hold the lead.
Yeah, the points given out for this particular women's wildcard, 3-2-1-0. So if Morel managed to get through on Schmidt, then potentially, if Schmidt had an absolute nightmare, Morel could come out on top of the standings. But we've got a fight for P3 here between Locke and Wood. And that'll be the final podium position. And they continue to fight on as Schmidt sets the fastest lap.
Mira Schmidt, the German driver, in a league of her own. And Rachel Wood, elbows out. Have a look at the grass, she says to Cynthia Locke, and barges her way through up to P3.
There you go, Mira Schmidt. Once again, so much quicker than the competition today. And it's going to be 3 from 3 for Schmidt.
Outstanding stuff from the driver in the Mercedes entry. Mira Schmidt takes the checkered flag, and she's done it again. The hat-trick of wins for her. Rebecca Morel just trying to stay with her on the opening lap. The moment she didn't force the move, though, you thought that might be that, and so it proved.
Congratulations to Mira Schmidt, who wins the women's wildcard from Rebecca Morrow in second and Cynthia Locke in third. Mira now progresses to the Pro Exhibition semi-finals.
Mira, huge congratulations. Dominant racing today. You were the winner of all 3 sessions. How does it feel?
Kind of amazing, to be honest, because, a couple of weeks ago I didn't expect to be here even, and now I'm standing here as one of the drivers for the Pro Exhibition.
It was dominant actually across all 3 races, but which one for you really stood out? Where did you feel strongest? And also, which ones did you find the most challenging? We saw you pick up the penalty in the Austrian race, but how do you reflect on each race individually?
To be honest, the Bahrain race was the hardest because it's hard to get used to this track. It's very demanding. Like, you can easily get snap overs the end. It loses you a lot of time. For me, the best race was in the wet at Austria because, 32 seconds, even with that 2-second time penalty, was, good.
Looking ahead now, what have you got your eyes set on?
Just trying my best, honestly, because I'm very inexperienced actually in the Formula 1 games. And tomorrow and maybe the day after tomorrow, I'm going up against guys that have hundreds to 1,000 hours in this game. Meanwhile, I don't even have 100 hours in this game. So that's going to be quite a challenge for me. But I have the advantage now that I know how the rigs feel. And that's the disadvantage for the others. But let's see how it goes tomorrow.
Well, you put on a great showing today, so congratulations once again.
Congratulations to Mira Schmidt then, going through to the semi-final on day 2. Ariana, it was a brilliant performance for her. And what I loved about the interview is the fact that she's so critical of herself to improve. And you love to see that in a driver.
Yeah, I think she was definitely pleased, of course, that she won today, very dominant. But I thought it was fantastic to see that straight away in that interview, self-review, and also given the fact that she does not have as much experience, as she pointed out, as the driver she's going up against tomorrow, that determination could be critical.
Yeah, day 1 of the women's wildcard in the can. That means we have to say goodbye to you, Ariana. I'm gonna miss you. Have you enjoyed the Pro Exhibition though?
I will miss you too, and of course I've enjoyed it. It's been lovely working alongside you, amazing to see the female talent, and I'm excited to see how the next couple of days wrap up.
All right, brilliant stuff. Right, that is day 1 done and dusted. We'll have a break. When we come back, we'll have all of the semi-final day 2 action. welcome back to the F1 Pro exhibition presented by Aramco. With Mira Schmidt winning in the women's wildcard, we have now completed our driver roster of 26 who will be battling it out for victory in the Pro exhibition and hoping to catch the eye of the F1 teams who will be watching and potentially gain a place in the F1 Pro Championship. Here's a quick reminder of how the format works in the semi-final.
There are 3 tracks for the drivers to race in the semi-finals. First up is Silverstone at 25% race distance, followed by a 5-lap sprint around Spielberg. The final race around Sao Paulo is also 25% distance. For 25% races, the point scoring is the same as real-world F1, whilst in the 5-lap sprint, the scoring sees the winner pick up 10 points.
Well, I am lucky enough to be joined by F1 Pro Championship driver and all-round smashing bloke. It's the one and only Mr. Lucas Blakely. Lucas, great to see you. It's great to be back here in Silverstone. And also, can I just say, congratulations on the 2021 season. You were so close to becoming world champion. How is preparation going for 2022?
Well, first of all, thank you, Tom. It's great to be here at Silverstone. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, preparations have been going well. It's just fun to get your hands on, you know, the new F1 game. It's always fresh, it's always something new, lots of different challenges to learn and get on top of, and yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. Those nerves that start to creep in when, you know, the pressure starts to mount, that everything becomes a bit more real when you're sort of going on the rig. You realise what you're here to do, and yeah, it's just about keeping yourself in the zone while enjoying the experience overall, because it is a massive privilege.
And being back here in Silverstone, Lucas, I remember back in 2018, you even met Lewis Hamilton just over there, just behind us. It's all getting ready now, ready for the Grand Prix weekend. But are there any final tips you would give the drivers before they get in the rig?
Just try and keep it as simple. You know, it's very easy to get in your own head. You know, quite often you can be your own worst enemy. So. As well in some competitive leagues, so I think yeah, I've seen firsthand how quick it can be, and yeah, certainly ones that teams will probably have an eye on.
Okay, and any tracks that he stands out in potentially?
Belgium, I think.
Okay, all right, well listen, you've heard the names to look out for in this semi-final. Let's get to the action. Your commentators are Matt Gallagher and Alex Jakes.
It is time for the semi-final then, starting at Silverstone. 5 lights on. The lights go out and we are racing at Silverstone. Jake Benham holding the lead. Now, is anyone do so?
We have to say we've commentated on in the past, and unfortunately for him, down to 13th place. But Jake Benham, what a start from him. The 16-year-old Brit is currently leading the way ahead of Duncan Hoffland and Luke Smith. But look how close they are on lap 1. There could be changes for position here.
Luke Smith thinking about the move. He is tucked up right behind that Ferrari as he goes to the inside and takes second place. That's a moving through. He is highly rated, the Scottish.
DRS available now as final 2/10 behind. Thomas is the fight for P4 at the moment, and as you can see, DRS wide open, energy being deployed, and he has cleared.
Oh, wait for it, wait for it. Is there a car there? No, there isn't. Tom Manley up to 4th place. Good battle with Thomas Paradis in the Alpha, the driver who took the PC route. As we go through the famous Cops Corner, and this is a good position, but you've got to get the right momentum here.
Press wide open. Tom Manley goes so defensive on the inside.
Who manages to take it, and he goes straight to the pits, and that is very, very aggressive. Into the pits there. He gained a lot of time on those making their way in as well, and the gaggle make their way to the front. Over into the lead of the race then, and there's a 3-second time penalty.
For the overcut, along with Matthew Alder, sorry. And this could be a 3-way fight as we head round rough.
And they were right now. Jake Benham won't be beneath the new bridge. Now pitted. We move to lap 8 of 13. We move on board with Duncan Hoffland, who was up in 2nd place earlier on, but these three really have scored.
On esports, haven't you? It doesn't matter if it's the Challenger Series, if it's the Pro Exhibition, if it's the he wants to make this more durable yellow walled tyre. Jake Benham has his battery deployment as well, a crucial part of this.
Benham, then Luke Smith and then Duncan Hoffland. So we look back further. Going for the overcut, Matthew Adler. He is in the wheel tracks in the Williams. Floor through there, and Tom. Well, as Paradis start to disappear.
Of a performance, you'd have to say, after dominating 9 wins.
Luke Smith has bided his time, and Luke has held on to the trophy all the way through. Benham time things nicely. Go through Copse Corner, the Alpine. Has he got the tactics right? Has he got the tactics and retaking it at this. Cleared the Alpine, and he's played that 1-2. Strong post. Smoke, Ben and Paradis Hoff. Mercedes fighting it through, but getting it done. Looking ahead. Looking for the spectacular. One race on, and Jake Benham hangs on to it.
Soft. And you got Hoffland, Manley, as we're trying to make some moves there.
Clean up. Fastest lap of the race out front. Looking to go further up. Consistency, though, could very much pay off. He's in. Guess what? The Alpines are at it again, Matt.
They are. Better of it, does Alder, but right behind. That's Luke Smith, in fact, actually round the final corner. Alder a little bit further behind as they're fighting. 10 from Luke. Luke Smith on Sam McLean. They're getting a bit argy-bargy again, but this time...
himself with the fast. Parodies has timed that number. Wiggle on when he got the power down. And it's not going to happen. Soft after 5 laps.
Has had the pace, he's had the measure of the rest of the field once again. And 2 for Jake.
Truly outstanding from Jake Benham, who has announced himself in some style in these semi-finals. Another fantastic contest. We're back from the sprint format to the long 18-lap contest, and it's very tight in the background there as they try to make on board. Duncan Hoffland.
He's indeed. Duncan at the...
It's a super move. Really, really strong stuff from Hoffland. Some Benham. And move now for the other Alpine of Sam McLean.
Oh, such a shame. Mira's had some really at Silverstone. He allowed is
done the job. So long, he's currently looking in his mirrors, and this allows Benham just to have a little bit of breathing room.
For about a straight, I'd say, Alex, and then DRS bringing them all back together once again. Luke Smith holding.
Making the move. As we go on board, and Jack Bennett.
There you go, Samuel Bean. P3 actually right behind Bianca Lila, in fact, who has a penalty at the moment. P2 for Bianca Lila, but not going well, as you say, Alex, as we're taking a look and seeing where is Porridis in all of this. hoping for.
Yeah, looking for that.
Oh, actually, no. Only P3.
Benham and Smith, who were nose to tail when they came. Because now we go back further through the field.
Very conservative strategy. And that's fine. Top 7 is the beautiful number he's after. And with these points that he's been...
It's a 4-car battle. So they roar up the hill once again. You can do about Luke Smith. The answer. And it's
recovery that needs to happen as well. Hoffman going on the attack now. But it is now going on to the final lap, Alex, and it is absolutely...
Solo, final lap in first position, and they're banging wheels. They're almost grinding together. They're almost welded together as they go through turn 2 and 3. And Hoffman gets involved. Who's the last of the late breakers? Smith thinking about the Verstappen line off the road, but it's Smith who keeps it together. And all the while that they battle, Jake Benham says, "You enjoy that, boys. I'm off for another victory."
It's another masterclass from Benham. He picked his moment, and look at that. Over a second clear on the final lap. Smith may well be under pressure going down towards the line. Hoffman needs to stay as close as he can to the Alpine, and maybe Hoffman can get a better result than P3, but it's going to be very, very close. But what a drive. Benham once again proving he has the pace and he has the racecraft.
Paradis will be thinking, how am I not on the podium after all 18 laps? We go on board with Jake Benham, the 16-year-old Brit who is making a name for himself so far today. Jake Benham over the line to make it 3 from 3. That is superb stuff from him. And it's Benham, Smith and Hoffland, but the Mercedes driver blazing a trail in the semi-final so far.
All right, so I am now currently standing next to your winner from semi-final 1, Jake Benham. Jake, a fabulous drive at Silverstone. You had Austria and Brazil winning in each of those races. What did it feel like to be here at the Pro Exhibition and showing your talent off?
So yeah, it was really fun, especially fighting at the front, because that's ultimately what I wanted to come and do, show what I can do, and hopefully the teams will be watching, and maybe I can get a seat next season. But yeah, the ultimate goal was to obviously win, and it's really fun with Tomek and Luke at the end there, and pretty much every race I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, they definitely pushed you. Lucas Blakely said you were one of the drivers to watch, so everyone at home would have been watching, going, "Oh, Jake, I need to follow him." You're known for your speeds. Do you feel like you got to show it off to its max today?
Well, I think mainly the thing today was adapting, because obviously I haven't been to a live event before, so adapting to the rig, adapting to the pedals and everything was really tricky. But yeah, hopefully I showed off what I can do, and hopefully a team will come for me.
Yeah, and in the Pro Exhibition here in the arena, watching with all the heat was rising. You feel like you're going to be able to handle the heat and the pressure tomorrow in the final?
Hopefully, but we'll have to see. Hopefully I continue to form, and maybe we can win another one.
Well, fingers crossed, Jake. Well, there you go, catching up with your winner from the semi-final. But let's confirm the results.
3 wins from 3 has Jake Benham at the top of the standings, and surely putting his name in the hat as the one to beat in the final. Behind him, Luke Smith and Duncan Hoffland finished tied on 38 points. Sam McLean is the last of the automatic qualifiers. Tom Manley will have to wait and see if his 9 points is enough to get him through as best placed 8th driver. Another surprise is that Manuel Biancolila also misses out on a place in the final.
Well, Lucas, a lot to digest there from the results on our windy rooftop terrace. But I tell you what, Jake Benham was superior. What did you make of his drive?
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly one way to impress the F1 teams. I mean, out of the blocks, 3 wins out of 3. You can't really ask for much more. There's not really much more to be said. Just stellar performance, getting on with the job at hand, and yeah, making the best of his track time. So yeah, perfect.
Luke Smith in second. Brilliant. He finished second in 2 of the races in Austria. Got disqualified in quali, therefore started at the back of the grid, but worked up to 7th. Is that a bit of a surprise? Where's he come from? What do you know about him?
Yeah, so I mean, Luke Smith's been a very, very quick league racer on F1 2021. So yeah, it's no surprise to see that he's got good potential, but yeah, maybe just hurt himself a little bit with that Austria invalidation in the qualifying session. So yeah, maybe if he hadn't done that, he could have had a very consistent triple podium. But nonetheless, 2 second places showing what he's got.
Lucas, the surprise there in 8th, Tom Manley. He's going to have to wait and see what happens in the semi-final 2 to see if he goes through to the final. That didn't go to plan for him.
Yeah, I mean, going off of his form coming into this event, you would expect some great things. But yeah, nonetheless, obviously maybe his first time at a LAN event in person. It's a different environment. The pressure can get very real. So yeah, maybe just overthinking it a little bit, but yeah, we'll see what happens in the next semi-final.
All right, well, Lucas, we'll get more thoughts from you. We're going to have a break. When we come back, we'll have all the action from the second semi-final. Welcome back to the F1 Pro Exhibition 2022. Jake Benham romped a victory in our first semi-final, which means there are 7 places confirmed for the final, but 8 places still up for grabs. Tom Manley currently holds the lucky loser spot, but there are 13 hopefuls waiting to join him in our second semi-final. And now it's time to find out who they are.
Thomas Ronar led the lap times on the PC for the DHL time trial, whilst Peter Stacholic finished second in the PC Challenger Series. There is a very international flavour to the second semi-final, with the likes of João Pedro from Brazil and Jack Humphreys of Australia making the long journeys to compete here at Silverstone.
There you have it then. That is the lineup confirmed. Let's find out how they got on. Our commentators for this are Alex Jakes and Matt Gallagher.
Here we go at Silverstone, semi-final number 2. We've got one jump start. The rest of them have got it right, though, as we go racing. And it's Ronar who converts pole position into the lead as we go through Abbey Corner. And it's Cohen who made that jump start, who's making use of it, but is going to take the penalty for it as well, though, as we make our way through. The Haas is in the mix, and it's Cohen taking that moment to shine out front, but all of this is helping Ronar, who is disappearing down the road, and Stacholic now. Peter Stacholic is making his way into second position, and then the driver who had lined up, Christoph Scheller, who we go on board with now, moving up to third position. The drive through there for Harvey Cohen, having jumped the start, Matt.
As we now take a look on lap 2, we've got Nordic in P6, just behind Cohen, who, I mean, all the drivers around him are going to be like, what are you doing up here? You should be further back, you jumped the start. He'll be coming in for his drive-through pretty soon, which will kill his race, to be honest. Only a 13-lap race for this British Grand Prix. As Nordic, there you go, P5, Cohen into the pits for his drive-through, and I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes last and P13. Nordic up to P5 as we now get a 5-second penalty for Humphreys for speeding in the pit lane. That's not something that you want to see either, as Ronar sets the fastest lap out in front.
Yeah, Ronar in the Mercedes, the Dutch driver who was first in the time trial using the Xbox and is going very well at the moment. Seeing a bit of form from those who've taken the time trial route through. Ronar, Stacholic, and then Scheller, who we're on board with him. And we were for a second. We now go to the driver who's chasing in the Alpha.
Oh, look at that in front. Ronar's been overtaken.
There you go. Change of lead. And Ronar just before. So that was frantic stuff. So just slapping the move on before you pit. Just had the momentum. And Stacholic taking the lead and then instantly pitting.
They would have gained a couple of tenths, maybe Stacholic, as he's in the pits at the moment. And the top 3, Ronar, Scheller and Nordic, carrying on for another lap. They'll be going for the overcut as we now take a look. Lap 7, and as we saw in semi-final 1, the leader cannot break away. But we saw some interesting tactics from Benham, letting the lead slip away on the final lap and then taking it back at this particular moment. Is Scheller going to try and get ahead of Ronar before they both pit? He's going to go up the inside, and it's going to be a massive move for the McLaren. Do we see them all coming to the pits now, Alex?
Will it be all 3 peeling in? That'll be frustrating stuff for Ronar, who's done well so far, but 2 cars have got past.
Penalties.
Oh no, he's overcooked it, and he's been speeding in the pit lane as we go on board with Wilson Hughes. But almost Ronar's day unravelling. Difficult stuff for him. So it's now Scheller coming up against Stacholic, who is going to be trying to move through, though, but out front, it's Wilson Hughes that we're focusing on in P4.
So Ronar, maybe that was just a little bit of frustration being passed, not once, but twice in the first couple of laps. And of course, Ronar in the middle of that fight. So he hasn't served his penalty. He'll have to do that at the end. And Scheller's got a 5-second as well. So if anything, Ronar has braked at the same time as Scheller, and they've both got penalties, and that's changed the whole complexion of this race.
Well, that is completely bizarre then, that Scheller...
And Hughes is out in front now.
Hughes in the lead of the race. Then you've got Scheller. Then you've got Stacholic. Then you've got Ronar. 2 of the top 4 with penalties. And Harvey Cohn still to make the stop, having come in to take that drive through earlier on. Okay, Wilson Hughes, mighty stint on the medium tyres, trying to shake off these drivers behind. Some of them are going to be penalised. It's a very, oh, that's a late defensive move. And Scheller was brave to keep the foot in the McLaren. That could have wiped both of them out. It's Christoph Scheller with the penalty, but on track he's into the lead.
Yeah, Scheller knows he has to lead from the front and really just push that McLaren as hard as he possibly can for the next 5 laps, because he needs to create a gap. But if you look at the intervals, he's going to be dropping to 8th, 9th place, which is not going to give him many points at all. Wilson Hughes in the mix, P2. He has to sit there really, sit in the DRS, keep Stauchalik, who is right behind him, and he'll take the victory. But lap 9 of 13 now, Stauchalik into Magnussen. Beckett's will try and line up a move, but of course Hughes can use his own defence with the use of DRS.
Now Wilson Hughes having a good run at the moment, 6th in the PC Challengers, on his way to competing here. Look at this, very nearly 3 wide, and Ronard trying to hang on, but it's Stauchalik who manages to get up to 3rd position, at least for a few metres, as they head into Vale, and they're bumping and grinding. And it is very, very tight, nearly interlocking wheels as we go through the 18. This 3.6 mile circuit. It's Rona with the penalty, but with the up front.
Drivers in the mix here, and could be just sitting on in P3 after penalties are applied. Jack Humphries gets the penalty as well, down in P11, but Nordic currently 5th, has to look behind him, but also Scheller still leading ahead of Hughes, Ronard, Stauchalik and Nordic. They cannot be separated right now. Hughes looking very
Hughes just has to keep it clean here, because he's in a penalty sandwich of Scheller and Ronard. And then he knows that he just doesn't really need to fight. He'll have the information, he'll know what's going on with Scheller, he'll know what's going on with the driver behind him. But Wilson Hughes hanging on to it, fastest lap of the race, eventful time around Silverstone Circuit for Cohen. But it's Scheller who, at the same time, so much into the pit lane. Two drivers who knew they had an opportunity. Wilson Hughes in a brilliant position here anyway, even if there wasn't the penalty. It's being hurried along. We're into the final few moments of the race here. The Williams chasing the McLaren. Can Wilson Hughes demote Scheller from the on-track lead? He's already got the time page lead. Have a look a long way round. He spun! He has spun it! And it was going to be a time penalty anyway, but Wilson Hughes goes all the way around the outside, spins round Scheller. It's Ronard who will finish on the road in 2nd place. Hughes wins it, and then he's tumbling down the order, having finished P2 on the road. It is Poland putting the pressure on. We skip to lap 2.
We saw how difficult it was to overtake around here in semi-final 1, as there was a lot of eagerness to make up some moves on the first lap. Here is Soriano behind Hughes. Oh, that's a bit of contact, and Hughes getting a bit squirrely on the exit. Is that going to allow Soriano up the inside? Hughes gives a little bit of a nudge and says, hey, don't touch me into that braking zone, but they're still fighting.
the Ferrari of Poland, chasing ahead. And it's Peter Stouchelek. Poland trying to get through. And then drifting to the middle of the road. Is there room on the outside of the corner for Poland and Scheller? There is. And still nothing between the top four.
Look how quickly it can change, by the way. Where's Norgrove come from? He was nowhere at Silverstone, all of a sudden fighting for the victory in that Red Bull. Scheller, of course, disappointing with the penalty. We now enter the final lap of the race, and Stouchelek is already defending down towards turn one.
It's like a restart. It's like they've barely disappeared at all. It is an incredible contest in this sprint race. So all out. On the brakes and later still from Scheller. How has he? In the background, putting on a to the fourth out front, celebrating as still Hughes tries to hang on and Norgic's got past him for 7th position, but amid all of the nose-to-tail excitement out there, it's going to be Peter Stouchelek, who was in the mix for victory at Silverstone. Didn't work out for him there, but it will all come good in Austria here. Peter Stouchelek comes out of the final corner to take the checkered flag in a 5-lap sprint race. And it's Norgic's and Scheller completing the podium. Another frantic race. And he's got a perfect as well. After position of the racing gets ahead of this moment here. They are side by side in the background, and it's very, very tight between Jack Humphreys, between Joe Pedro and Jed Norgrove, and Norgrove's had an issue to go on the road, but it's his teammate.
Doesn't do. Let's start the Stouchelek. We've seen already moment. We're taking a look at Suriano, who had a great move at the end of Austria, and now the fight for the lead.
He's going to the inside and he's taking the lead at the center S's. Ronar looking to try and take that step forward. Stouchelek just happy to sit there. Jordan hoping for drama ahead. Hughes won't be happy with that penalty that he's got at Silverstone. Ronar and Stouchelek just holding firm out front, half a second between them. The Alpha in 3rd position. Then though, we're focusing on Wilson Hughes.
So tight, but we didn't really go could very much be a poor race, but here we go then.
Yeah, Wilson Hughes. That's the move that you do need to Wilson Hughes able to get 1.1 up the road. Now hanging on from this man, both of them pitting. We go on board with Justin Nordic, who is coming into the pits, and then it's Scheller and Poland also coming This This is so important, could decide things. Watching the Mercedes, meeting in the middle with Nordic. And it is to the pack.
At Silverstone, hasn't pit yet and is only 1.1 ahead of Jacobs. In fact, they've both come into the pit. In the lead as
once again on board Chella, who is in fourth position. This doesn't have to be win or he could manage a strong result here and still be in a good position. Ronar Nordic can now Scheller up to waiting for him to be spun around there, in all honesty, Matt. I just thought he was going to get creamed into the side of Stalkalek, not having the sort of performance we've seen in other races. And that is and the Alfa Romeo has to just settle for DRS and nothing more. Scheller up to second place. All over the back of the